Welcome back to the latest episode of the Laura and Becky Show. So you know the story by now. We were on the radio together. Unfortunately, we got the sack. We didn't know what to do, so we did what we did best. We took off to Mallorca for the weekend. We drank lots, and we thought, you know what? We are going to give a podcast a go, and here we are.
We are sponsored by Prince Family Law Solicitors, Red Brick Estate Agent, and we're in collaboration with East Midlands Airport. And as we speak, we are pre-racking this. I think we should be honest about that.
Yeah, we can say that.
Because it can get really confusing, can't it?
Yeah, well, we get confused pre-racking.
So let's actually talk about this week, because this is Monday. Oh, wait, is it Monday? Yeah, let's say... No, it's not.
Is it? No.
It's not Monday.
We're not quite sure what day it's going to go out yet, but we've pre-racked it. So we are recording
this
on
You would have heard
Wednesday.
from me, though.
Yes.
Oh my God, right, let's just move on.
Yeah, we are so close. But guys, it is pre-recorded, but we are here. So today we wanted to talk about something. We do serious pods, don't we, every now and again?
We do.
And obviously on last season, you talked about your anxiety attack that you had. Mm. So we were dealing with that, weren't we, sort of last season? It
was in between the last season and the season before, was it? I can't actually remember. But yeah, yes. I think I talked about it.
Yeah, and you were still dealing with kind of like the fallout from it, because it wasn't just like you had an anxiety attack and that was the end of it. It kind of like there were other things that happened after, and you were like feeling a certain way. Yeah. And it took a while, didn't it, to get over it?
Yeah, and the good thing about doing this pod, if we'd have been on the radio, I wouldn't have been able to like talk about it, and you kind of have to pretend you're fine, don't you, when you're on the radio?
And that's really tough as well. Because if you're on the radio, you have to go on and put like a brave face on. Obviously, you're there to cheer everyone else up. And when you're going through something in your life or feeling wobbly or not quite yourself, it's a really hard thing to go in and be like, hey, everybody. Like, it's really difficult.
Yeah. So it was good to be able to kind of talk about it on here. And obviously, when I talked about it on here, I then got lots of messages, and you again start chatting to people that are the same as you and yada, yada, yada. So like we were on the edge of that being fine. Not on the edge.
Yeah.
We were on the edge of it being fine, and everything had kind of calmed down doing the pod. And then you had been to see your friend.
Yes. So this is something that I was going through last season, but I haven't talked about it publicly until now. So went to see my lovely friend down south for the weekend and took Lily with me. Anyway, we were sat on the beach on the Sunday, I think it was. And Lil was sat with her legs crossed, right? And my friend suddenly went, oh, what's that on Lily's leg? Anyway, I looked over, and sure enough, there was like a really big, hard lump just at the top of her like left kneecap. And I hadn't noticed this before, right? Anyway, but it looked really prominent and really big. And I was like, oh my God, like, what is that? And how have I not noticed it before? So first of all, you kind of think like, oh, is it a bite? Or has she bumped it somewhere? Like, has she, I don't know, fallen over and it's kind of swollen up or something? So anyway, we both had like a bit of a feel of it. And I said to Lil, I was like, how long has that been there? And she didn't really know. She hadn't noticed it, because weirdly, when her leg was straight, you couldn't really see it. It's just when her leg was in a certain position, it sort of protruded out.
But it was big, wasn't it?
It was really
like,
big.
Would you say the size of an apple?
Yeah, but like under the skin.
Big,
yeah. Not red. So it was literally like the colour of her skin, but just really like big and raised under the skin. So we started having a feel around, and I said to Lily, is it painful? Like, can you feel it? She was like, no, not at all. She didn't flinch or anything when we were touching it. And then, but it felt really solid, almost like bone. It was
couldn't
like really
move it, could you?
No. So I then started to panic a bit, and I thought, oh my God, how long has this been there, and why have I not noticed it before? So it was really on my mind. So we were travelling back that day or the next day, I think, from my friends. It was quite a long drive, but I thought I'm going to have to get her into the doctor's straight away. So got her an appointment. We got back, and it was still like really, I remember talking to you about it, didn't I? And I sent you the picture and said, oh, she's got a doctor's appointment, but what do you think it is? And then you spoke to your mum, and you spoke to various different people. And obviously everyone was coming up with various different things that they thought it could be. And you hear all sorts, don't you? Like, it's kind of like minor things and major things, and your brain goes on absolute overdrive. So then I started looking back at pictures of Lily from like months ago, where I could see her legs, and I was zooming in. I was thinking, you know, could I see it? Was it visible? Was it there 6 months ago? Or how long has it been there? And it was really difficult to tell in photos. And I thought, I'm driving myself mad. I'm going to have to stop until we see the doctor. So anyway, took her out of school, went to the doctor's appointment, and the doctor had a good old feel of it. Lily wasn't worried or anything by this point. She was completely like oblivious to it, really.
Yeah.
And the doctor said, listen, it definitely is something. I'm not going to tell you it's nothing, and you do need to go urgently to the children's hospital, but I don't know what it is at this stage. And I was like, oh God. And when you hear a doctor say that, like, obviously I wanted to be referred to the hospital because you want to have it all checked and everything. But I think when you hear almost like a doctor seem a bit worried, it then makes you worried, doesn't it? So anyway, I had the appointment. She booked us in at the Children's Hospital. So there'll be a message that comes through that you get from the Children's Hospital, blah, blah, blah. So then I took Lily out of the appointment. I was walking Lily back into school and I had a text message come up on my phone. And it was from the Children's Hospital. They were really quick. They were really on it. But it literally floored me, the message that I got. And it just said, hi, Lily Hayes has been sent for an urgent appointment at the cancer referral unit. And I think when you see that word with anyone, but especially with your child, it's horrendous.
Yeah, horrendous.
And I remember, like, because I was walking with Lily at the time, it just started like spinning a bit. And I felt like I couldn't like breathe properly. And I thought, hang on, just calm down, just get Lily back into school and then get into the car and have another look at it and have a think. So I put Lily back into school and I remember feeling really panicky, like walking out of school. And then we've got a friend, haven't we, who's a GP. So obviously I phoned like Lily's dad first and we kind of talked it out. I could tell he was really worried about it as well. But then we phoned our friend who's the GP and actually she was fantastic. She gave me some really good advice. Because at that point, because her appointment I think was they said that she's on the system, but they come back to me with an appointment. And I thought, I want to get her in straight away. I don't want to wait. I literally want to get her in today if I can. So then I was like, do we go private? Do we see if we can get in privately? Do we still go NHS? I didn't know what to do for the best. So we kind of tried to get her in privately. We sort of phoned to see what the best thing was to do. But anyway, spoke to our GP friend and she was like, stick with the NHS for this kind of thing. They're really, really good. The Children's Hospital is amazing. Stick with it. So we did, but I just couldn't.
Wasn't there doctor strikes as well on around that time?
Yeah. So I think it was. So my actual GP who'd seen us that morning, she then phoned me back and she apologised for the message. I'm sorry, I know it's a real shock to get that because she hadn't mentioned that word to me in the appointment. And I think then, because if you see it in black and white written down, you think that's it. You think, oh, she's got cancer for sure. I thought it was a tumour. I thought it had been there for months and I hadn't seen it. And it's, oh God, it's just a horrible feeling. I remember looking at Lily constantly and like she would be in bed with me and just wanting to cry, looking at her and thinking, how can she seems really healthy and she seems fine. So how can this even be happening?
Yeah.
And I remember you saying to me, actually, you were like, don't start looking at her.
I knew you'd do that. I was like, don't just keep staring at her at night.
Yep. And I literally did it. You can't help it, can you? When you're there, you are like, I can't believe that this is happening. This could be like a reality. Anyway, that week was just like an awful week waiting for the appointment. And we still had work stuff on, didn't we, that we were doing?
Yes.
And do you remember we were driving back from somewhere and I had to keep on at the hospital. So I was ringing the hospital and saying, listen, I want this appointment as soon as possible. And they were like, yes, we will get back to you. But me and Lily's dad actually kept on and on at them. And it was coming to the weekend and I didn't want to have the weekend thinking, I don't know when the appointment is and I don't know what this is. Mm-hmm. And you and I were in the car, we were driving back from somewhere, weren't we? And it was so stressful being on hold, wasn't it? And like waiting and awful. Do you remember?
Got cut off, then you had to go through it again. It was like, oh my God.
Yeah, and some people didn't seem to know what was going on. I had to give more details and things. And do you remember we were on hold for ages and it was the worst hold music I think I've ever had. It was almost like a heart monitor.
Yeah.
Wasn't it?
Boop. Boop. Boop.
And I was like, I do not need to hear this today. Yeah, guys, if you're listening, perhaps put some more cheery hold music on because that was awful. So anyway, I have to say they were very, very good in the end. They then messaged me that afternoon and Lily's appointment was on the Monday. So I think that weekend I kind of relaxed a little bit knowing that the hospital appointment was on the Monday, but Monday couldn't come quick enough. So got to the hospital, me and her dad both went in with her and oh God, again, it's just horrible going in thinking, it's going to be bad news. Like we could come out of her and our lives are going to change. Yeah. Although I have to say, and some people believe in this, some people don't. So weirdly enough, the day that Lily had her appointment at the cancer referral unit was the day 3 years ago that my dad died of cancer. And I was really thinking about that. I was like, this is so odd. And like, what are the chances of that happening? It's a coincidence, but a very weird, prominent coincidence. And then when I came out of my house that morning to go and pick Lily up, I had a little white feather on my doorstep. But, you know, that happens. White feather's a pin. I thought, oh, that's quite nice, but didn't think too much of it. got in the car, and then I drove to the children's hospital. I was literally about 2 minutes where I was going into the car park, and this white butterfly was like flitting around my car, and I noted that. And listen, guys, it could be coincidence. Who knows? But at that moment, I felt like everything was going to be okay. And I had a really strong feeling that it was going to be okay. So we went into the appointment. The consultant that we saw was absolutely brilliant. And she had a little look at it and a little feel around and everything. And straight away, she said, I think I know what this is. I'm like 99% sure I know what this is. And it is, and I'm going to have to get the name up here because it's a very long name and I always forget it. Okay, osteochondroma.
Right.
So it's basically a benign, non-cancerous tumour that develops during childhood or adolescence. So when children are still growing, it develops. It's an abnormal growth that forms on the surface of a bone near the growth plate. So it's like cartilage and stuff developing. So she said this and she drew like a diagram. And she said, listen, you're going to go for an X-ray anyway, but I'm pretty sure this is what it is, but go for the X-ray. Straight away, I was like, oh, okay, this is good. She seems really confident. She doesn't seem worried. This is all good. And she said she sees this quite a lot, right? It's quite a common thing, apparently. So I went for the X-ray. And sure enough, the X-ray results came up and it looked exactly like what she'd drawn. So we went back to see her. She was like, yes, I'm pretty sure. However, just to put your minds at rest, we're going to book you in for an MRI scan in a couple of weeks' time so that you feel better about it. So we walked away and the relief, I cannot tell you the relief, like just unbelievable.
Well, I remember you going and I was like, ring me as soon as you come out. And I remember I was watching Real Housewives of Beverly Hills and I was literally just sat staring at my phone like, please ring me. Because it took a while. I mean, they don't they? Yeah. Yeah. So yeah, we were all like, and then I had so many messages going, has Becky heard anything?
I know your mum and everyone was asking, which was so sweet. No, people who knew were so like lovely. And everyone, when I came out, I had so many messages going, what's happening? Like, you okay? Which is lovely. So then we had the MRI. And it's quite a scary thing to have. I didn't quite realise what it was. But it's basically like a big, long tube thing that you have to go into. It's very kind of like claustrophobic. There's different ways. So sometimes you have like a thing over your face. Lily didn't because it was on her knee. But you go into this tube and you have to sit really still for like half an hour. And it's really loud as well. So it's like what it does, it takes photos of the area that needs to be like looked at. But there's really loud like boom, 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 like knocking noise. But like you have like ear defenders on and earplugs in, but you can still hear it. God. And Lils isn't a fan of loud noises. So I thought, this ain't going to go well. So I went in with it because only one person could go in. I sat with her and actually she was really good in there. Like the people were brilliant. She was very relaxed. She got to watch a movie in there. And we get the results from the MRI next month.
Yeah. But I mean, a specialist has seen it. It's been X-rayed. They're not worried. It's just peace of mind, isn't it now?
Exactly. Now so the good news is that it's the osteochondroma. And actually, weirdly enough, my friend, who's not a doctor, by the way, who spotted it initially, she did a lot of Googling at the time. Yeah. And she sent me that and she was like, mate, she went, I'm wasted. She went, I need to be a doctor. She went, I got it straight away.
We always say, though, with my health anxiety, I never Google anything. Mm-hmm. Like, I stay away from Google. But obviously, you know, some people do, some people don't. And she kind of Googled it. And she got it spot on. Well, I've got a conversation. So you sent me a photo. So first I was like, let's ask Linda. Linda will know. Yeah. And my mum's response, I thought, oh God. Because she was like, oh, no, you need to get her to I thought she'd be like, it's a blah, 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 blah. But she was like, you need to get her to a doctor. So I was like, my mum says you need to get her to a doctor.
And you know, that makes people worry. When you say that, you know it makes people worry.
And then I thought, who else do we know? And I thought, we know the paramedic that came to my house. I thought, I'll ask him. So I put, quick question. Sent her a photo of Lily's lump, shall we say. I put, what do you think this is? It's not a bite. And then he put, is there any pain, tender to touch, itchy, any recent trauma? When did it start? Any other symptoms? So I put, no to all your questions, blah, blah, blah. And then he put, I'd book her into the doctors and they'll ultrasound it. So I put, okay, thanks. And then he put, be interested to know what it is to be honest.
Have you let him know? You need to give him an update.
Well, I did. So I put, she's been referred to Sheff Children's Hospital. But yeah, if I'm honest, I was a bit concerned and it was hard and I've never seen anything like that before, but I didn't tell you that.
Oh, God.
So he went, bless her, I hope she's okay. And then actually, no, I haven't.
You need to give him an update.
So I will.
Yeah, give him a little update. Bless him. Yeah. Oh God, I know. It is, I think anything health related with your kids, it's such a worry, isn't it? And you just keep thinking, I wish it was me. Like whatever's going on, you're like, I wish I could go through this and they didn't have to go through it. But touch wood, guys, it's all going to be fine. The specialist is really confident that's what it is. And obviously the MRI will confirm or deny that. So we just need to wait for those. And
also, well done, Chef Children's Hospital and NHS, because they get quite a lot of bad rap. But actually, I think especially when it comes to kids, I think.
Do you know what? I have to agree with you on
that.
it. Yeah, and at the moment there is a lot of bad press about the NHS and things, and we are very lucky in this country. And again, this country is getting a lot of bad press at the moment, but we're very lucky in this country. We don't have to pay for healthcare, and like we do get an incredible service. Yes, it's understaffed and all the rest of it and everything. And I know it's long waiting lists and things, but when it's to do with kids, they get them in and they are fantastic. I couldn't fault them.
Yeah, good. Well, there we go. Happy.
Yes. So there you go, guys. That was what was going on last season. Feels good to get it off my chest, actually. Good. It's like therapy.